Welcome to Career Spotlight Academy, your daily deep dive into the world of STEM careers and entrepreneurship, where we explore inspiring journeys and the skills needed to thrive. Let's dive in and explore today's Spotlight career.
All right, so are you ready to dive into the world of tech entrepreneurship? Because today we've got a story for you it's a wild ride.
It really is.
We're talking about Liam Virden and the incredible rise of NetCraft Systems.
You know NetCraft Systems, right?
They're the ones that seem to know what you want to buy before you even do.
Exactly. Their product recommendations. They're like magic, but it's all thanks to Liam Virden.
But here's the thing, and this is what I love about Liam's story. It didn't start with some, coding prodigy stereotype.
No, not at all.
We're not talking about Silicon Valley whiz kid here.
Right. It's not the typical tech sounder story.
Liam's journey, it started with a philosophy degree.
A philosophy degree. Can you imagine that?
And what's fascinating to me? It's actually not as uncommon as you might think.
I was just thinking that. We see this surprising connection between seemingly unrelated fields and success in tech all the time.
Right. You wouldn't necessarily think someone who spent their college years debating Plato would end up coding the next big AI breakthrough.
You'd think they'd be more comfortable with, Pascal or something.
Right. But Liam's story goes to show you that the skills you hone in any field, even something like philosophy, they can be incredibly valuable in tech.
It's about the way you think, the way you approach problems.
Exactly. When you're grappling with complex philosophical concepts, you're developing critical thinking skills.
Logic. The ability to really break down those big complex ideas into, manageable chunks.
And that is pure gold in any profession, but especially in the fast-paced, ever-evolving world of tech.
Couldn't agree more. The ability to adapt, to think critically.
Yeah.
It's essential in the tech world.
And for Liam, that's exactly what happened. He always loved philosophy, saw it as this way to really dissect problems, analyze them from every angle.
Kind of like debugging code in a way.
Right? Except instead of lines of code, it's like lines of philosophical arguments.
I like that.
But then, get this, he stumbles into a programming class. Totally random elective, right?
Oh, wow. One of those aha moments.
A total aha moment. It just clicked for him.
Like it was meant to be.
Exactly. He realized that code, it wasn't just about analysis. It was about building solutions. It was about creating something tangible, something that could have a real impact on the world.
And that's a powerful realization, right?
It's huge because it's that shift from analyzing to building that's at the very core of entrepreneurship.
It's about seeing a problem, a need, a gap in the system, and feeling this, this drive, this burning desire to build a solution.
It's about creating something out of nothing.
Brick by brick, or in Liam's case, I guess you could say, line by line of code.
That's a great way to put it. And that brings us to the birth of NetCraft Systems.
NetCraft Systems, huh?
Yeah, so picture this. It's the early days of e-commerce.
Back when, you'd order something online and hope for the best.
Right, like crossing your fingers that it wasn't a total disaster.
Totally. Online shopping was like the Wild West back then.
It really was. You're browsing online, hoping to stumble upon something you might actually like, or worse, you need something specific.
Oh, and good luck with that.
I know, right? Like trying to find a needle in a haystack while blindfolded.
And without those helpful AI-powered recommendations we have now, right?
Exactly. But Liam, he saw that gap, that glaring need for a better way to shop online.
He saw a chance to use technology, specifically AI, to personalize the online shopping experience.
And remember, this was before AI was like the buzzword it is now.
It wasn't exactly mainstream back then.
Not at all. Liam was ahead of the curve. He saw the potential of AI in e-commerce before most people even knew what it stood for.
He was a pioneer.
He really was. He wasn't just building a company. He was pioneering a whole new way of shopping. And that's where NetCraft Systems comes in.
Tell me more. I'm hooked.
Okay, so picture Liam, this philosophy grad turned coding whiz, hunched over his computer, fueled by endless cups of coffee and this crazy dream.
I can practically see it now. The dim-lit room, the lines of code scrolling across the screen.
It was like something out of a movie. And he had this vision, this burning desire to create a system that really understood what shoppers wanted, what they needed, even before they did themselves.
And that's the key, isn't it? Not just what people clicked on randomly, but what they actually wanted.
Exactly. We're talking about AI that could analyze your browsing patterns, predict your preferences, even anticipate your needs before you even knew you had them.
It's like having a personal shopper in your pocket.
That's a perfect way to put it. A personal shopper who knows your style, knows what you like, and can guide you to the perfect product. And let's be honest, who wouldn't want that?
It's like having a best friend who just gets your taste, but they work 24/7 and never judge your questionable fashion choices.
Exactly. But here's the even wilder part. Liam decides to build NetCraft on AWS, Amazon Web Services.
AWS. Wasn't that a pretty bold move for a bootstrapped startup?
It was a risk, for sure. It would have been much cheaper to go with a simpler option.
But AWS offers that incredible flexibility and scalability.
Exactly. And Liam, he was playing the long game. He knew that as NetCraft grew, having that robust infrastructure would be crucial, even if it meant, tightening the belt in those early days.
Talk about vision. He was already thinking years ahead.
He really was. And that decision, it speaks volumes about his understanding of the tech landscape and his unwavering belief in NetCraft's potential. But of course, we can't talk about the startup journey without mentioning the challenges, the setbacks, those moments where you just want to throw your laptop out the window.
Oh, I know those moments all too well. The late nights, the bugs, the crashes. It's all part of the process, isn't it?
It's the roller coaster of entrepreneurship. It's funny, though, because those setbacks, they're not really setbacks. They're more like lessons learned.
I like that. Lessons learned. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about failing forward.
And failing faster each time.
Exactly. You learn more from your mistakes than your successes.
100%. And Liam, he embodied that philosophy. Each crash, each frustrating bug, it wasn't a reason to give up. It was an opportunity to learn and improve. But those early days, they weren't all sunshine and roses.
Oh, I bet. Bootstrapping a startup, it's not for the faint of heart.
Not at all. He was working a full-time job on top of everything else just to keep NetCraft afloat.
Wow, the dedication. That's impressive.
He was putting in the hours, I'll tell you that. But you know what really struck me about Liam during those early days? It wasn't just the hustle, it was the why behind it all.
The why?
Yeah, he wasn't just building a product, he was building a solution. He wanted to make people's lives easier, even if it was just one less frustrating online shopping experience at a time. And that brings us to another critical moment in NetCraft's journey: securing funding.
Ah, yes, the infamous funding roller coaster.
Tell me about it. Imagine this. You've poured your heart and soul into your company, countless all-nighters, debugging nightmares. You've sacrificed everything for this dream.
Been there.
And now you're in a room full of investors, PowerPoint presentation at the ready, praying that they see the same potential in your idea that you do.
Talk about pressure.
The pressure is immense. And honestly, it's a process that's riddled with rejection.
Well, absolutely. You're putting your heart out there, bearing your soul to these investors, and more often than not, you're met with a chorus of no's.
It's brutal. And Liam, he faced his fair share of rejections early on. He'd walk into those pitch meetings full of passion, full of conviction, and nothing.
Ouch. That's got to sting.
It's tough, It would have been easy to get discouraged, to start doubting yourself, to wonder if it was all worth it.
I can only imagine. So
Yeah.
What changed? How did he go from those early rejections to, well, we know NetCraft is a success, so something must have clicked?
You're right. Something did click. Liam's a smart guy, and he's got this incredible ability to not just learn from his mistakes, but to use them as fuel. And after a string of rejections, he realized something crucial about the whole investor-startup dynamic.
What's that?
He realized that investors, they're not just investing in lines of code or fancy algorithms or even a brilliant idea.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What are they investing in then?
They're investing in people. They're investing in the founder, in the team, in the passion and the drive behind the vision.
It's about the human element, isn't it? The belief, the resilience, the fire in your belly that says, I'm going to make this happen no matter what.
Exactly. It's like they say, bet on the jockey, not the horse. And Liam, he knew he had to become the jockey that investors couldn't resist betting on.
I love that analogy. So how did he do it? How did he convince investors to bet on him?
He realized he needed to showcase not just NetCraft's potential, but his own. He had to become a storyteller, someone who could weave a narrative that captivated investors, that made them feel the same excitement, the same burning desire to change the world that he felt.
It's about connecting on a human level, creating a shared vision.
Exactly. And you know what? It worked. Liam refined his pitch, he honed his message, he focused on conveying not just the what, but the why. And finally, after countless rejections, he found those investors who believed in his vision, who were ready to take that leap of faith alongside him.
That's incredible. Talk about perseverance.
And that first round of funding, it was a game changer for NetCraft. But here's the thing about startups, and this is something Liam learned quickly: securing funding is just the beginning.
It's true. In some ways, it's the easy part.
The real challenge, the true test of an entrepreneur, is scaling up.
Going from a small team, maybe working out of someone's garage, to a full-blown company.
It's a whole different ballgame. Suddenly, you're not just responsible for your own ideas. You're responsible for a team, for a product, for a growing customer base.
And for making payroll.
Right. There are a lot more people counting on you. And for Liam, it meant transitioning from being a coder, a builder, to a leader.
That's a big shift. It's one thing to manage lines of code. It's another to manage people, to build a company culture, to inspire and motivate a team.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, it wasn't always smooth sailing. Imagine this. You go from a handful of people all huddled around a computer screen to a team of over 100 spread across multiple time zones.
Wow, that's a lot of Zoom calls.
You have no idea. But more importantly, it requires a huge amount of trust. And that's something Liam had to learn to do, to delegate, to empower his team, to let go of the reins a little bit.
It's that classic founder dilemma, isn't it? You pour your heart and soul into building something from the ground up. You're used to calling all the shots.
You're so used to being hands-on, and then suddenly you have to learn to trust other people to care for your creation as much as you do.
It's like letting go of your baby bird and hoping it flies.
It's the perfect analogy. And like any good parent, you have to let go at some point. You have to trust that you've given your team the tools they need to succeed, and then let them spread their wings.
And hopefully not crash into any windows along the way.
Right. But that's all part of the learning process. And Liam, to his credit, he embraced that challenge. He realized that building a successful company wasn't just about writing the best code. It was about building the best team.
It's about creating a culture of trust, of open communication, where everyone feels valued and empowered to contribute their unique skills.
And that's exactly what Liam did. He fostered this environment where failure wasn't feared. It was seen as an opportunity to learn and grow. And the results, well, they speak for themselves.
NetCraft was thriving. Their AI was getting smarter every day. Their customer base was growing. They were on top of the world.
They were unstoppable. But as we know, in the world of startups, things can change in an instant.
Oh no, what happened? Don't leave me hanging.
Just when it seemed like nothing could slow NetCraft down, they were hit with a major setback. They lost a huge client to a competitor. It was a tough blow, no doubt about it. I mean, losing a client of that size, it can really rock a company, especially a young company like NetCraft.
Absolutely. It can feel like the end of the world, like all your hard work was for nothing.
Right. And it would have been so easy for Liam to just, I don't know, to panic, to point fingers, to fall apart.
It's a make or break moment for a lot of founders.
It really is. But Liam, he's not like a lot of founders. He didn't crumble. He didn't despair. He didn't even take a day off. Instead, he saw an opportunity.
An opportunity. In losing a major client. I don't know if I would have seen it that way.
Most people wouldn't. But Liam, he's got this incredible knack for finding the silver lining, even in the darkest of clouds. He saw this setback as a chance to reassess, to regroup, to come back stronger than ever. So he called a company-wide meeting.
Oh, wow. I bet that was a tense meeting, everyone bracing for the worst.
You'd think so, right? But it wasn't like that at all. Liam, he's not about placing blame or pointing fingers. He's about solutions. He wanted to understand what went wrong, how they could improve, how they could make sure NetCraft wasn't just keeping up the competition, but staying ahead of the curve.
So he turned a crisis into a learning opportunity.
Exactly. He used that setback as fuel to innovate, to push NetCraft even further. They doubled down on what made them special, refined their value proposition, really honed in on creating the most personalized, intuitive shopping experience possible.
It's that whole what doesn't kill you makes you stronger thing.
It's so true. And in NetCraft's case, it was the push they needed to reach the next level. They weathered the storm, emerged stronger than ever, and reclaimed their position as a leader in the e-commerce space.
That's incredible. It's a testament to Liam's leadership and the resilience of his team.
It really is. But Liam, he's not one to rest on his laurels. He's always looking ahead, always thinking about the future.
Which, for someone in the tech world, is essential. Things move so fast in that industry. If you're not constantly innovating, you're falling behind.
100%. So Liam, ever the visionary, he was already peering into the future of e-commerce. And let me tell you, what he saw was pretty mind-blowing. He saw a world where AI wasn't just, a behind-the-scenes player, it was the star of the show.
Okay, now you're really piquing my interest. What does an AI-driven e-commerce experience even look like?
Imagine this. You're shopping online, but it's not like the online shopping experience we know now. It's not about scrolling through endless pages of products or trying to filter through a million different options. It's about AI that knows your style, knows your preferences, knows your budget, even before you start shopping.
Okay, so it's like having a personal stylist, but online.
More than that, it's like having a mind-reading personal shopper who can anticipate your needs before you even know you have them.
That sounds both amazing and a little bit creepy all at the same time.
Right, but in a good way. Think about how much easier it would be to find the perfect outfit, the perfect gift, anything, if you had an AI assistant guiding you every step of the way.
I can see the appeal, for sure. No more buyer's remorse, no more spending hours trying to find the right size or color.
Exactly. It's about making the online shopping experience as seamless and enjoyable as possible. But Liam's vision for the future of e-commerce didn't stop there. He was also really intrigued by the rise of voice commerce.
Voice commerce, huh? That's definitely an area that's been gaining a lot of traction lately.
It is. And Liam, he saw the potential early on. Think about it. How many times have you been talking to your smart speaker and thought, man, I wish I could just order that right now with my voice?
More times than I can count. It's so frustrating to be in the middle of something and have to stop to pull out your phone or go to your computer just to place an order.
Exactly. And for some people, that's not just an inconvenience, it's a barrier. People with disabilities, for example, or those who aren't as comfortable with technology, voice commerce could be a game changer for them.
It's about making online shopping more accessible to everyone. I like it.
Me too. It's using technology to break down barriers, which I think is fantastic. But you know what else really struck me about Liam's vision for the future of e-commerce?
What's that?
He wasn't just focused on the technology itself, he was really thinking about the bigger picture, specifically the impact that NetCraft and e-commerce in general was having on the world.
So we're talking about sustainability. That's a huge issue, especially in the tech industry.
It's huge. And Liam, he gets it. He understands that building a successful business isn't just about profits, it's about making responsible choices that benefit everyone, including the planet. So he made sustainability a core part of NetCraft's mission.
And that's not just good PR, it's good business sense.
No.
Consumers today, especially younger generations, they care about these things. They want to support companies that share their values.
They do. And Liam, he was ahead of the curve on that one. He realized that sustainability wasn't just the right thing to do, it was the smart thing to do.
It's about proving that you can be a successful entrepreneur without sacrificing your values.
100%. And that's a powerful message. So here we are at the end of Liam Virden's story, this philosophy major turned tech CEO who's changing the world one personalized shopping experience at a time.
It's been quite a journey. And it's not over yet.
That's the most exciting part. Liam's story is still being written, just like all of our stories are still being written.
It's a good reminder that no matter where you come from, no matter what your background is, if you have a dream, if you have a passion, if you're willing to put in the work and never give up, you can achieve amazing things.
And you never know, you might just change the world along the way. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time for another incredible journey into the world of tech and innovation. Until then, keep dreaming big.
Thank you for joining us at Career Spotlight Academy, where we explore the future of STEM careers and entrepreneurship. Visit us online at www.careerspotlight.academy for more insights and resources.